I have to say, I quite like Wood Green. I'm not out this way very often, despite at least 2 recent videos, including footage shot around here, but when I am, I appreciate this station. Let's take a deeper dive. Wood Green opened in September 1932, making it one of the last underground stations to open before the whole network was taken over by London Transport in 1933. However, it wasn't the first Wood Green station in the area. That was here, the station that is now called Alexandra Palace. It was opened in 1859 and didn't take its current name until 1984. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to refer to it as Alexandra Palace, except when I don't. There was another station called Alexandra Palace, but it's not relevant right now, and I really think I just need to do a separate video about all the different railways in Wood Green to clear this mess up. I think I'm just going to say Alexandra Palace unless it's directly relevant to call it anything else. Man, this is so difficult. Where was I? The original proposal for an underground station was put forward in 1898 by a company called the Great Northern and Strand Railway. This station would have been an interchange with Alexandra Palace Station at the northern end of the site. And the plan was actually approved, but money was the issue. In September 1901, the Great Northern and Strand Railway was bought out by this guy, Charles Yerkes, American transport mogul and anti-hero of this channel. Yerkes combined it with 2 other proposed underground railways to form the Great Northern, Piccadilly and Brompton Railway, which was more commonly known as the Piccadilly Tube. So why did it take so long for the tube to actually get here? Well, it's politics. The main line out of King's Cross, including Alexandra Palace, was owned by the Great Northern Railway. Commuter traffic was a big earner for the otherwise not very wealthy Great Northern, and they feared anything that might threaten that. So they got a sanction put on the Piccadilly Tube to extend no further than Finsbury Park. The line to Wood Green was officially dropped in 1902. So the Great Northern were happy. But basically no one else was. From 1906, Finsbury Park was the terminus of 2 underground lines, the Piccadilly Tube and the Great Northern and City Railway. So at rush hour the station would be absolutely rammed with people coming from the city and the West End trying to change onto buses, trams and mainline trains. Similarly rammed was the street outside. It was intolerable, and passengers and Piccadilly Tube executives alike petitioned for the Great Northern to remove their sanction. But the railway declared nothing doing, or words to that effect. The Great Northern ceased to exist in 1923, becoming part of the London and North Eastern Railway, who continued to oppose the extension. When they were asked what they were going to do about the congestion, they muttered vaguely about electrifying the line and running more trains, and they were totally working on it, get off their case, or words to that effect. The government presented them with an ultimatum: electrify the line or let somebody else have a shot. The LNER couldn't afford to electrify the line, so that was that. In 1929, the government passed the Development Loans and Guarantees Act, a scheme that would provide finance to big projects in order to alleviate unemployment, which even before the Great Depression was a significant problem in Britain. The lads from the underground swooped in and got the permission and the money to build their extension, but now it would go all the way to Cockfosters. So the original Wood Green station plan was abandoned. Instead, a new station that was more central to the town itself was planned. Consequently, it wasn't going to be named Wood Green, although by this time the mainline station had been renamed to Wood Green Alexandra Park. Instead, the names suggested for the tube station were Wood Green Central and Lordship Lane. I do wonder if the name Wood Green Central was a slightly vengeful proposal on the part of the Piccadilly Tube, to emphasise that while that station may be Wood Green, it's not the proper Wood Green station, as it were. I mean, I have literally no evidence to back this suggestion up, and no reason to believe it's the case, other than I think it's funny. On the 19th of September 1932, the first section of the extension opened as far as Arnos Grove. Wood Green was on that section. The station was designed by Charles Holden, the architect employed by the Underground and later London Transport. I've talked about Holden's architectural philosophy and development in more detail in my videos on Cockfosters, Uxbridge and Southgate. But to recap in brief, Holden took inspiration from the very latest in modernist design, aiming to produce stations that were highly practical but also aesthetically pleasing. They were designed to be bold and futuristic, making use of modern materials, but also to be cost-effective. Wood green is a fine example of the type. While Holden's buildings were designed to a house style, they were also specific to the sites they were built on. Wood green was built on a corner site. Holden built a wide, sweeping, curved wall at the front, intended to give the illusion that the station was bigger than it was. It includes a shop and an electrical substation. Unusually, it also included an exhibition hall. The exhibition hall wasn't very large and wasn't used for very long, but it suggests that London Underground viewed these stations almost as destinations in their own right, as something that people would go out of their way to use. Plus, they probably thought it would make them a bit of money. It was, however, later converted into a staff room. The station is rather pretty at platform level. The underground stations on the Cockfosters extension, the ones that are actually underground, that is, all have their own unique tiling patterns, and the one at Wood Green is no exception. Wood Green also incorporates these rather lovely cast-iron decorations over the otherwise ugly and functional vents. I suspect it was also, again, a feature designed to make the station more attractive to commuters, to give a bucolic and rural feel to the suburban destination. At a structural level, the platforms here are quite large. Given the situation at Finsbury Park, it was expected that there would be a lot of traffic. The station also includes a reversing siding, meaning that trains can be stored or reversed here as needed. As the Great Northern Railway had feared, this new underground station poached many passengers from the main line companies. Another local line, the Palace Gates branch, would close in the 1960s, partly because they just couldn't compete with the faster, more frequent, more convenient and more modern tube trains. In 1976, the station was the site of a provisional IRA bombing on what was supposed to be a train of football supporters going to Arsenal. Fortunately, the train was empty and entering the siding. There was one injury and no fatalities. In the period from 1986 to 1988, the station underwent a rebuild. The booking hall was reconstructed. The old escalator uplighters were removed, unfortunately. New ventilation was installed and new ironwork was added in the style of the platform-level castings, which to me is how you do modernisation. It still retains many of its original features, of course. In 2011, the station was Grade 2 listed, but to be honest, I don't think anybody is planning to do anything nasty to this station anytime soon. Good evening. I hope you enjoyed this deceptively small tale from the tube. If you did, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more. I would like, as always, to express my gratitude to my supporters on Ko-fi and Patreon. You are the cast iron decoration to my necessary ventilation. And I'll see you all again very soon for another tale from the tube.